Good afternoon, and welcome to the Hall of Fame corner of Dave Niehaus Way and Edgar Martinez Drive. This is the On Deck Show, presented by T-Mobile. Now, here's your host, Aaron Goldsmith.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the On Deck Show, presented by T-Mobile, and welcome inside gorgeous T-Mobile Park. I'm Mariners broadcaster Aaron Goldsmith, and the day has finally come. We've got opening day 2021. The Mariners and the San Francisco Giants. Marco Gonzalez up on the mound for the third straight year for the Mariners. We cannot wait. The first pitch tonight at 7:10. Be sure to be by the television, 6:30 on Root Sports. We'll have the pregame ceremonies for you there, and on the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network, we'll be carrying the ceremonies there for you as well. Got a lot to get to here on the On Deck Show, presented by T-Mobile in a little while. Speaking of Mariners Alaska Airlines Radio Network, we'll be joined by Shannon Dreyer, Mariners reporter for 710 ESPN. She'll be swinging by. We'll be talking all things Mariners for opening day and beyond. But right now, man, we are happy to have in booth with us one of our favorite guys around the ballpark, and I must say, a soft pretzel connoisseur, among many things else. It is Mariners assistant general manager, Justin Hollander. Justin, you're looking sharp for opening day, man.
I wore the suit. I only break it out for weddings, funerals, bat mitzvahs, and opening days. So very, very excited to be here.
Well, hey, we saw a lot of each other down in Arizona. You are now back here in the Great Northwest, and it's finally here. It's almost a little hard to believe, isn't it, after all that the world and the baseball world has been through in the last calendar year plus, that we not only have an opening day, but about as normal of an opening day as we could realistically imagine with a full 162 in front of us.
So different than last year, obviously, and it really felt like a blur. I don't even remember last year's opening day. I know there's roughly going to be 1,000 times more people in the park than there were last year, when it was give or take 9 of us in the park. And I think it's going to feel like 50,000. I'm so excited for the energy that people bring, that fans bring. And obviously, hope springs eternal, and to watch our team go play in real games is super exciting.
What's it like for you on a personal level, opening day?
I love it. This is my 15th, I believe, working for a club. And almost all the clubs I've ever worked for have been contenders at one point in the season that they've been playing. So you're really excited to try and achieve something that I've never achieved before, which is win a World Series. Really, really excited to watch young players debut and older players come back from injury or try and revitalize their careers. There's just a lot to look forward to, and spring training tells us a little bit, but not a lot, and so the proof starts tonight.
What's it like inside the baseball ops department on opening day? Because obviously you guys talk and prognosticate, and you have your whiteboards and all the magnets and everything else that goes along with it, but I have to imagine it's still a little bit different, the conversation and what you guys go through on a day like today.
We're all like fans. I mean, honestly, we were watching all the games all day. We have a Slack thread going, and everybody's chiming in on the Slack thread about Luis Castillo giving up 8 earned today, or Bellinger passing Justin Turner on the bases. Like, we all love baseball. You have to, if you're gonna live the lives that we live and work the hours that we work. So getting in real games on TV, and I think right now there's 6 or 8 of them on at once. You're just soaking it all in, and our Slack thread has been going crazy since 10 a.m. this morning. It's been awesome.
Well, we appreciate you carving out some time away from the thread to join us here on the On Deck Show. The Mariners are beginning to get some national pub and recognition for the process and the development, and the guys that came up last year and spent a full season, and the guys that will be here on opening day, a young player like Taylor Trammell, and other players that we know about who we expect to see at some point over the course of this season and this summer. What's it like for you, where the Mariners are right now on this journey, and the expectations for the ball club in 2021?
Sure. I hope this doesn't sound terribly cliche, but I think 2021 is where our future meets our present, or our present meets our future. We've spent a couple of years trying to resituate our org. Jared and I were joking, it's a little bit like turning the Ever Given boat around in the Suez Canal. Like, where we were maxed out on payroll. We were good, but not good enough, and we just did not have a farm system that was capable of sustaining a winner over a long period of time. And now we've taken one 162-game season and one 60-game season and tried to resituate ourselves to put the organization in a position where they can contend for, let's hope for a decade or more, where we've built up a layer of good young players in the big leagues, and a layer behind that of good young prospects, and a layer behind that of gooder but younger gooder, is that a word?
Yeah, it's
really
allowed,
good, but
it's an internet-only broadcast.
Prospects.
That's allowed. It's allowed. No problem.
So I'm really excited to see how it plays out. Obviously, this franchise is somewhat of a sleeping giant. They haven't been to the playoffs in a long time, and we have every expectation that that's coming. I can't give you a date on the calendar where we're going to flip the script and now we're World Series contenders, or we're going to flip the script and now it's time that we're ready to go out and win the division. But our expectations are that we play winning baseball from day one of this year. That getting somebody like Mitch Haniger back in the lineup is a huge addition. He's our best player, and to not have our best player for really the last year and a half makes it incredibly tough to see an offense that sustains itself when you take out the best bat you have, and having him back in the lineup and hitting in the leadoff spot is a huge addition for us this year.
Hey, speaking of internet-only broadcast, be sure to subscribe to the Mariners YouTube channel for unique content and access. It's the best way to get your daily dose of Mariners baseball, whether it's game day or not. You can visit youtube.com/Mariners to join the fun. Continue our conversation with Mariners Assistant General Manager Justin Hollander. I was wondering earlier today when I was filling out my scorebook and I wrote down Taylor Trammell in the lineup, what is Taylor Trammell thinking when he woke up this morning?
I have no idea.
I mean, this is a guy, a top 100 prospect, a new face with the Mariners, acquired last summer from San Diego, who just lights up the room, and I know the coaching staff is over the moon about this young guy.
I have to assume that this is the best day he's ever had. I mean, truly, waking up and knowing that, we did a little graphic to show for our scouting department. There's 20,000 guys who've ever played in the big leagues. So if you think about what that looks like in T-Mobile, it's basically like the lower level and everything else is empty. And now he gets to sit in one of those seats. And I have to think he didn't have that expectation when he walked into spring training on February 20th this year. That's a really cool feeling, to be one of the best 20,000 people to ever do what you've done in your career. I think he's going to be super excited, which goes without saying. And I think he's kind of a bright lights guy. You've seen what he's done in playoffs when he's been in the minor leagues. You see what he did in the Futures game a couple years ago where he hit the homer and then he thought he hit the second homer and flashed up two fingers to the dugout and it turned into a triple. But I expect that he's going to really do exciting things for us this year.
When you think about this ball club, and there are so many storylines for the Mariners going into this season, what is it that intrigues you, fascinates you, interests you the most about the 2021 Mariners?
I think it's our starting rotation. We're obviously unique in that we're four lefties right now, which you don't see every day. I think we're better than we get credit for right now. I think we're top 5 rotation in the American League. I think is really realistic with the kind of arms that we feature. The best version of James Paxton is one of the best pitchers in the American League. The healthy version of James Paxton, which we think we're going to have this year. Marco Gonzalez has been one of those guys the last 3 years, the last 2 especially. And then Yusei's stuff gives you every indication that he should be one of those guys. Justice led American League rookies in F4 last year for pitchers. And then you've got Flexen and JD, who are in some ways mysteries because JD's featuring, Justin Dunn is featuring all new weapons. And Flex is coming back from Korea where he was one of the best performers over in that league last year. So very excited with what we have. And then obviously Marg didn't win the 6th spot, but he's next in line to be the 7th starter. I just don't think a lot of teams feature that kind of depth at the back of the rotation and that kind of top end at the top side of the rotation.
You feel like for the ball club it is even a little bit of an advantage that from the standpoint of you were planning on using a 6-man rotation going into last year, even before the season took a wild turn left. And now so many teams, they have to do something, whether it's you piggyback a couple of guys in the back end of the rotation or you go 6-man. This is something that's been ingrained among that staff of starters, that this is how they operate. And the point is, it has to happen because of the innings and the build-up from last year.
Yeah, I think our guys are bought in. They understand why we're doing it. It's for their health. We spent a lot of time on it before last season, studying the potential benefits of it. And we showed real potential gain just in their health. And I think that they recognize that we're looking out for them. 20 starts of somebody because they get hurt and can't pitch every 5th day is much worse for them and for us than 27 or 28 or 29 starts of a pitcher because he's healthy and taking his turn every 6th day. And you're also getting the chance to work on things in between starts. You're getting a chance to work in the weight room in between starts. You can work on pitch shaping in between starts. There's just more opportunity to do more things with a 6-man rotation. So I don't know whether it's here to stay or not, but it's here to stay for us, at least for this year, for sure.
A couple of minutes left with Mariners Assistant General Manager Justin Hollander. Justin, from a baseball ops standpoint, how has the way our world changed affected the way that you all do your job permanently? Things that you've instituted dating back to last year that probably aren't going to go back to the way that they were, and maybe that's a good thing.
Better communication, I think, because not being in the office has forced everybody to get on Microsoft Teams calls and look at each other's faces and find ways to interact. I think is one. I think you just think more creatively about pitcher development because we're so mindful of the innings. You think more creatively about skill development in general, challenging BP, game simulations, live BPs, and making those things real development moments as opposed to hurdles you have to cross to get to actual games. We were left with so few actual games relative to what you would normally experience. 60 games in the big leagues versus 162 plus 144 in the minor leagues across all the levels, plus short season. We just lost out on so many moments. So trying to find ways to recreate those moments, finding value in those activities, and now reincorporating them back into a regular schedule.
To bring up the minor leagues, clearly a restructuring in minor league baseball entering 2021. Part of that restructuring, Everett no longer short season, a full season ball club, and as we all know, a very short drive away. And it's always been a great place to see the Mariners' future at the lowest level. But now we'll see some higher developed guys, and I'm guessing based on the farm system, even though minor league spring training is just getting off the ground, but there could be some real dudes in Everett this year.
Absolutely, and I won't announce the roster or anything like that. Andy McKay will kill me, but I think there's a very good chance guys like Emerson Hancock, Juan Tan, Brandon Williamson, George Kirby all make their debuts in Everett this year to start the year. I think there's a good chance that Julio Rodriguez starts there. It's awesome for us geographically to have Everett as our high A affiliate and have Tacoma as our AAA affiliate with our big league team like smack dab in the middle. That's a great setup. Roughly an hour in either direction to go see half of your organizations or players is awesome for us. It's a huge benefit for our front office, for our scouting group, for our player development group to stay connected to what we have here at T-Mobile. It's a huge win all around.
There is a certain sense of normalcy that comes along with 162 that we didn't have with 60 last year, even though we were happy for each one of those 60 games. The Mariners have done such an incredible job staying within the protocol, staying safe, staying healthy, and we're just so excited that things get started tonight, Justin. We always appreciate your time. You always give us such great insights, and I know you got a lot going on tonight, so we appreciate you hanging out for a bit.
I'll bring the pretzels next time.
He is. I'm telling you. He is a soft pretzel connoisseur. If he says it's a good one in a ballpark, you should take his word for it. That is Mariners Assistant General Manager Justin Hollander, always giving us a great inside look behind the curtain as to what's going on over in that baseball ops department. Well, to ensure the ballpark is safe for fans' return, the Mariners have implemented new health and safety protocols and policies, including enhanced cleaning, social distancing, mask mandates, and a whole lot more. For more details on how we'll all safely navigate our return to beautiful T-Mobile Park, just visit mariners.com/safety to get more information. It is an absolutely gorgeous day around Seattle. Really can't ask for much more than what we've had today. Mariners and the Giants getting set for first pitch tonight at 7:10. You can find it on Root Sports. You can also find the pregame ceremonies covered on Root Sports beginning at 6:30. Our pregame coverage on radio on 710 ESPN and all along the Alaska Airlines Mariners radio network. Our pregame coverage begins at 6 o'clock. And as we always do each and every year, we try to bring you all the opening day ceremonies as best we can over radio as well, because we all love the guys running on the carpet and making their grand entrance out there from right field towards home plate. A very, very exciting night. Marco Gonzalez on the mound for the Mariners. Kevin Gausman on the hill for the Giants, coming off a really good season last year. And speaking of radio, we're happy to welcome in Shannon Dreyer from 710 ESPN. Shannon, happy opening day. It's great to see you. That's called a hook. It's called a bait and switch. Bait and switch as well. And as we anticipated, it worked perfectly. It's wonderful to see you. We didn't get a chance to cross paths for too many days down in Arizona, but I trust Arizona treated you very well.
I am a professional. I bet I sound a lot better right now, don't I?
Hey, it's Shannon Dreyer from 710 ESPN.
Aaron,
Shannon,
it's great to be with you.
Apparently, all your digs against me, no one heard. So if you would feel better, since you nailed them so well, if you want to use them again, I mean, I will accept. If you want to move on, that's fine.
Is this on? Yeah, spring training, and yes, should be Gary. It's you. We'll make do.
Nice recovery.
First game, good to get that out of the way right now. On button. Yeah, no, spring training was a challenge. I mean, obviously we didn't have the run of the place. We couldn't go into the clubhouse, and you still have to find a way to get to know this club, and somehow we did. And every day I was down there another day and seeing more and hearing more and interviews here and there, and just really came to the realization that this is very different. You know, you kind of think you know what you saw last year, but now we had a chance to get to see a little bit more, get to know them a little bit more, and I am very excited for what's coming up.
Yeah, this will be, I think it's safe to say, no matter what happens in 2021 for the Mariners, this should be a really entertaining and fun team, right? I mean, there's so much youth, so many guys, whether it's the youngest of young, like Taylor Trammell, who puts his toes in the water for the first time tonight, or any guy like Evan White, who has yet to play in front of fans in the big leagues, which is incredible to think about. But you have these varying levels of youth, and then you have some of the more experienced veterans like Seager, like Murphy, like Haniger, like Marco, like Paxton, who have emerged obviously as these real leaders. It's a fun mix and group of guys in that clubhouse.
It really is, and I'll throw in Kendall Graveman with those leaders as well. And that's what was so different from last year is you had Kyle Seager, you had Marco Gonzalez, a little bit of Kendall, a little bit of Taiwan, but this really, really hit me that this is a better mix. It's not, you're tempted to say, oh, it's a really young ball club, and it is. I think the average age is right around 27. You got a 23-year-old starting tonight, but you do have that veteran presence. And in talking to the younger players, they are so grateful for it. There are so many things that they needed to be led through last year where you almost feel like without the fans, it was almost like a dress rehearsal last year. And they've got their reps under their belt, and they're kind of ready to take that next step. And I was talking with Justin Dunn a couple of weeks ago, and he said, you know, it's kind of like this year, like you've got answers to a couple of the questions on the test. Not all of them. You're not Marco yet. You're not Paxton. But you've got some of the answers, and he said that is a really fun feeling to have heading into the season.
Since you brought up Marco, we get our first look at Marco Gonzalez tonight on opening day. I'm so excited to see what the next step is for Marco, right? I mean, he took his command to even another level last year. His pitch mix is always so interesting and how it's evolved from when we first met him after the trade from St. Louis. He's this changeup specialist, and now it's the guy. He has a changeup, and it's a great pitch, but now he's got the cutter that he uses so much, and the curveball, and the fastball at 89 that has been almost unhittable at the top of the zone, which is so amazing. He's a guy that I don't know as if we even yet know quite what the ceiling is for Marco Gonzalez, which is incredibly exciting.
Yeah, we keep kind of banging our head into it, don't we? You think you're there and how,
right.
And he surprises, and he shouldn't because, his superpower is being able to hit spots and just go after them unmercifully. And with all the information that they have available right now, he knows exactly where he needs to put the ball for every hitter. And his game planning is part of that. His work with Tom Murphy is part of that. And he's insisting no big changes. It's just a matter of fine-tuning right now. But you're right. You never know. There might be another pitch that turns out to be a little bit more dominant this year. I wouldn't put that past him. But one of the fun things in watching Marco this spring was, we saw the leadership last year. He takes the number one seriously, and he took on the starters, and they all watch each other's bullpens. Well, this year they were watching the relievers too, and they were out watching all of the sim games, and they were talking about it. And Marco is a leader of this team, not just of the pitching staff. And when I was talking to him, he said, I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. This group works extremely hard. They've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I'm like, well, where does that come from? They want to prove everybody wrong. So really an exciting step that if this club indeed does take on a little bit of the personality of Marco Gonzalez, it's kind of next level Mariner right there.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Hey, quick reminder, tickets are going quickly, but there is still some seats remaining for the first two homestands of the season. You can grab your seats now by going to mariners.com/tickets. We'd love to see you out here, especially for the series against the Chicago White Sox after the 3 games come to a close against the San Francisco Giants. continue our chat with Shannon Dreher of 710 ESPN. Shannon, what element of this ball club intrigues you or excites you the most going into the season?
Oh, man. I think, I feel good about what I know about the starting rotation. I think the bullpen is a mystery, but that's par for course. You don't know coming out of spring training usually with bullpens, but I like the additions that they made. So for me, it's watching what you saw last year and you felt good about and getting confirmation that that was real, because in truth it was 60 games. And Kyle Seager talked about this quite a lot, and Kyle Lewis talked about it as well, getting it from Seager, I believe. But season is made up of ups and downs, and kind of when you get going, you're going to have two big slumps in a season. If it's 60 games long, it's either going to be really magnified or kind of really missed. So it's going to be interesting to see what those that we saw last year do with length of season, how they're able to shorten up the lows and kind of prolong the highs there. And then, of course, your eye is on what is coming next. We're going to see an exciting debut tonight in Taylor Trammell. At some point, we're going to see an exciting debut in Logan Gilbert. Some part, we're going to see an exciting debut in Jared Kelnick, probably Cal Raleigh. I mean, there's so much to come as the year goes on, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds.
I think the waves of talent that we've started to see, a couple of those already reached Seattle, and there's certainly more coming this year and years to come. I'm really curious. Well, you mentioned earlier chip on shoulders. I have to feel like Mitch Haniger has this colossal one on maybe
it's part of his
shoulders.
Workout, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you don't appear in a game for a whole season, even a shortened season, you become a forgotten man. And we not only didn't see him at all last year, we didn't see him for the back half of the year before that. And the Mariners have loaded up with all these incredible outfield prospects. One of them, Taylor Trammell, will get the start in center tonight. But Mitch is back. He's healthy. He's looking, dare I say, better than ever, maybe. And he'll, of course, be in right field tonight. But I feel like Mitch, even though he's got the All-Star on his resume and he's been the Mariners' best player and will be again, assuming a full rebound, I still feel like he is has some anger. he's mad about not being on the field, right? Because this is what he's robotically programmed to do more than anybody else, and it might mean more to him than anybody else. So I can't wait to see what this season is like for Mitch Haniger.
Take it out on the baseball is what I say. Put it all into that. I mean, when you saw him take a swing live for the first time in spring training, I mean, how did that feel? It was like, oh yeah, that's Mitch. We know that, right?
Oh yeah,
there.
I remember that guy.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, wow, that is Mitch right there, which was fantastic. They got to be careful with him. You got to realize that he, for all of the training that he did, and he just took it to a different level, trying to come back and make up for lost time. He doesn't have the day after day after day after day game legs under him. So I think they do need to be a little bit careful in that they don't wear him out too early and let him kind of ease back into things a little bit. But there's no reason, if he's healthy, that you can't go back to a 2018 All-Star Mitch Haniger. There's no reason why he can't be better. He was kind of on the way up then. He's the same player. He's as driven as he has ever been. He puts in the work. He's constantly evolving his workouts, his diets, just to get the mental side of the game, just to get the best that he can out of himself. So I'm excited to see what he can take a year and a half of that, because all the things that he couldn't do, he was working on things that he could, and what that looks like put together on the field. And he's another one, in talking with him about the youngsters, absolutely passionate about bringing them up right.
I love Mitch at the top of the order. I think we all have great memories of a couple of years ago, maybe a few years ago at this point, of the damage he did at the top of the order. And it's just the instant offense. Obviously, he's got the on-base ability as well, but the power, it's just what that does to set a tone. And we've seen more teams go to that, but that doesn't mean that every team has that guy. Right. And the Mariners have that guy in Mitch Haniger.
They do, and there's no easing into a game. You got danger at the top of the lineup, and every now and then he's going to be able to surprise somebody, and then when they flip it over, decent chance there's some guys that are on base for him, and he can just go into that run producer mode. But that was a great discovery a couple of years ago. Yeah, he fits into that mold perfectly. And, man, what a lineup tonight. When you look at all the youth at the top of the lineup, going to be a lot of fun.
And Ty France batting second.
France.
I like that as well. T.Y. France.
He can really hit.
Hey, Shannon, take us behind the curtain a little bit for your job, because you are the Mariners pregame show host on the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. It's an hour-long pregame show, which is tied for the league high, if not the league high. But tonight, this is always a tricky night on the pregame show because we want to bring folks at home and in the cars the ambience of the ballpark with the carpet and guys getting their names called. So you're juggling chainsaws on radio tonight.
Really juggling chainsaws, and I've decided, I prepared all of this stuff and I threw it out the window because I think people want to hear the red carpet introductions. They want to hear the fans. They want the pomp and circumstances. Only it can be brought on radio. And it's funny, our good friend Matt Pittman, who was with us for so many years on the broadcast, one of my favorite things to do with him were these red carpet celebrations, be it an opening day or be it Mariners Hall of Famer or something like that. And I called it, we're going to go do our Rose Parade right now.
That's a great call. That's great.
And so that, I think, is what we're going to just kind of throw some stuff out that we can bring back tomorrow. We've got lots of stuff from the last 3 weeks that we were down in spring training. But I think tonight has got to be about what's actually happening inside of the ballpark. So we're going to bring that as best we can live.
And we know nobody does ceremonies and opening day better than the Mariners. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Shannon,
and they've got 2 years saved up into this one.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Well, it's great to see you, Shannon. I feel like I'll probably see you every day for the next 6 months. So it's good to see you once again.
Just mark it down on the calendar.
There she is, Shannon Dreher of 710 ESPN. Does a fantastic job on the Mariners pregame show and is the Mariners clubhouse reporter as well. Oh, we're so happy you could join us on the On Deck show presented by T-Mobile as we are getting you set for opening night here from T-Mobile Park. We mentioned earlier that the White Sox come to town after these first 3 games against the Giants. We'll be seeing, what a star-studded lineup they have there on the south side of Chicago and on the pitching side as well. We hope to see you inside the ballpark for that 3-game series, April 5th through the 7th. Don't miss your chance to be on hand. You can secure your seats by going to mariners.com. We're happy that you've been able to come inside the ballpark. It's been a long time for all of us to get inside beautiful T-Mobile Park. The roof is open right now. The lights are on. Guys are taking some BP, and we look forward to being with you all season long, off and on, right here on the On Deck show presented by T-Mobile. It's a great way for our fans, not only in the Northwest, but all around the world, to get a little bit of a live look, a sneak peek as to the guys taking some swings during batting practice and just kind of get that ballpark vibe for you as well. And we always love to bring some guests on as well and talk Mariners baseball and just get a good baseball chat going on for about 30 or 45 minutes or so. Our thanks once again to Justin Hollander, Mariners Assistant General Manager, to Shannon Dreher of 710 ESPN. And remember, 7:10, our first pitch time tonight, 6:30. Pregame ceremonies can be seen on your television set on Root Sports, and our pregame coverage on radio, the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network, begins at 6 o'clock. And as Shannon was talking about, we're going to bring you all the red carpet introductions throughout the entire pregame show. So we hope to have you along on one of those stations or the other. Until next time, for Justin Hollander, for Shannon Dreher, for all who help make the On Deck show such a great thing, I'm Aaron Goldsmith. We will talk to you later tonight at 7:10. Thanks for being with us.
That wraps up this afternoon's broadcast. We appreciate you tuning in to the On Deck show presented by T-Mobile.